Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. When you read an article coming, let's say, from your Ukrainian side or from the United States, the free mass media, and they talk about some achievements of the Russian army, multiply that by 2 or 3. That means if they say, oh yeah, they advanced 50 miles. Just multiply that and say, hey, you know what, that's about 150 miles in reality. And when they tell you, well, only 50 Ukrainians died in this operation, you multiply that again, you say, well, about 150 probably. So do it like that and you probably will be very close to the real number. Personal observation by comparing information from both sides, third sides, all sides. So this article comes from Ukrinform, so it's an Ukrainian news outlet. So you have to, in this case, you have to maximize it because they're going to talk about the Russian achievements. Kirilenko says that the Russians continue trying to enter Bakhmut despite huge losses. I think that they already entered it, or they even passed it. All right, well, let's see what these guys are saying. In Donetsk region, the Russian invaders tried to enter Bakhmut or bypass this town. What do you mean? Suffering huge losses, but continuing to make attempts. I suspect they already are done with Bakhmut. Bakhmut was one of the 3 where the Russians had tried to conduct counteroffensive operations. That's Bakhmut, Avdiivka and Novopavlivka. So it says here that Bakhmut, and I'm quoting, Bakhmut, Avdiivka, Novopavlivka directions remain the hottest ones. In Bakhmut direction, the enemy does not stop trying to break through the defense of the armed forces of Ukraine or enter the town or bypass it to further develop its offensive. Actually here, offensive. Anyway, the enemy is indeed redeploying significant forces to the indicated directions, distribute them so that suffering a fiasco in other directions to achieve success at least somewhere. So here's the guy saying that Russia is losing everywhere else, but somehow they're so idiots they want to win here so they can counterbalance and say, oh, we lost over there, but we win here. Yeah, might be. I mean, since Russians are so idiots, I mean, what do you expect, right? Therefore, the enemy suffers huge losses but does not stop making its attempts. End quote. Pavlo Kirilenko, head of the Donetsk Regional Military Administration, said at a briefing at the media center Ukrinform. According to him, likewise, without success and retreating to previous positions, the enemy actually destroys frontline settlements. Alright, so they're just trying, but poor guys cannot do anything, and in the meantime they destroy infrastructure and kill civilians and rape and pillage and all that. We got that one. And I'm quoting, the entire front line, from the south to the north, Mirinka, Krasnohorivka, Vuhledar direction, Avdiivka, Toretsk, Bakhmut, Soledar, Partisiversk community are under constant shelling. The infrastructure in the region is greatly destroyed. For example, we can say that more than 60% of infrastructure in Bakhmut have been destroyed. End quote, Kirilenko noted. The enemy indiscriminately destroys everything that is not related to military facilities. So he's just destroying everything but the military? I thought they want to win. If you want to win, you want to hit the military, and then if you hit the military, you can hit the other one, so you can create panic and terror. But you still have to destroy the military weapons and personnel and all that. But anyway, what do you expect? These guys. And it says here, the enemy indiscriminately destroys everything that is not related to military facilities and fires at the entire front line, from defense structures to the city's infrastructure, the official emphasized. As reported, Donetsk region is under constant Russian fire and experiences problems with electricity, heat and water supply. More than 1.2 million people left the region, in which 1,670,000 people lived before the full-scale invasion. By winter, no more than 235,000 people involved in the defense and maintenance of critical infrastructure should remain in the region. Well, I knew that Bakhmut is one of the three, and I think the Russians will eventually break through that if they didn't do it yet. Remember, this is an Ukrainian media outlet, and they will minimize the achievements, if any, right, of the Russian forces. On the other hand, he mentioned that the Russians tried to, it's the hottest area, and they tried to push through, and this is their offensive. On the other hand, they say that in Kherson the Russians moved out and the Ukrainian forces liberated Kherson altogether, and everybody is happy over there. They put the flags up and they took pictures and so on, and the Russians moved across the Dnieper River. Well, the fact is that the Russians moved. I know that for a fact. Why? Because even the Russians officials confirmed that and stated that way. So there's no way around it. Now, do they try to hold stay on a defensive? Yes, it seems like. I think the plan over there, at least in that area, is to hold a line behind the Dnieper River. They stay over there for the winter. Now, I don't know what they do here in Bakhmut, Avdiivka and Novopavlivka. They try to break through and create an offensive. I thought the winter is coming. They're not going to stop. I have no idea about that one. They're continuing shelling. I suspect that during the winter there's not going to be any more offensives. But if you think of Stalingrad, as I mentioned, that occurred in the middle of the winter and nobody gives a damn about anything, remember? So, but on the other hand, we deal with a different kind of gene pool now, and I think those guys then had more virility than these guys have right now. We'll see. I suspect that the Russians will not continue the offensive, and the front will be probably stopped where it is right now, or maybe until the cold sets in really bad and snow. Then everything stays put. This is it in this. I don't know why they're still continuing this offensive. Probably they have a momentum and they continue to see how far they go. I don't know. It's hard to fight in the winter, that's for sure, with mechanized you know, tanks and anything that would try to conduct the offensive, including the people. Well, we'll find out. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.